Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to cover the most popular DPS class at the moment and also probably the most overpowered, which is the Power Berserker. This class can bring a lot of sustained damage both in melee and in ranged situations because it has the greatsword for melee and the longbow for the ranged situation. Let's get to the gears. We run full Marauders. Everything you see right here is Marauder. We run Rune of Scholar, which is the most damageful rune at the moment for the power of the ferocity. Then on the greatsword we run Force and Hydromancy as sigils, and on the longbow we run Force and Bloodlust. As a relic, we run Relic of Speed, which increases movement speed by 66% when under the effect of swiftness. Since most of the classes run this relic right here on the DPS classes, I think even the Berserker should run it, because otherwise you would stay behind your tag and you will not succeed on reaching them and also fail behind and sometimes even die. So I would recommend going for this instead of getting some like 5% more damage like the Relic of the Thief. But why we run the Superior Sigil of Hydromancy on the greatsword? I will show you. Okay, I swap. You see like almost 2k damage with the Superior Sigil of Hydromancy, so this is better than any other sigil of damage like Impact, which is 3%, or Energy, which is an additional dodge, or whatever. Also this sigil can be used to remove blindness from you, like you are stuck on your longbow, you have blindness, you wanna swap to the greatsword and use your F1, which is so powerful, but you are blind and you cannot use it, so you swap to greatsword, the Hydromancy triggers, and then you remove the blindness with the Hydromancy trigger and you can use your F1 while you are in Berserker mode, of course. As for the build, we run Strength, Discipline and Berserker. On Strength we have this unblockable dodge which does damage. This happens only while you are in combat, and also you grant some might per hit to yourself, so very strong minor trait. On Peak Performance we get 3% damage increase. We don't run physical skills, so we don't get the additional 7% damage boost, but it's okay. Otherwise you can use Restorative Strength, which grants you 5 stacks of might, and when we use an healing skill, and we use the healing skill while we are in combat to reset our F1. Then here we have some endurance. Here you can run Forceful Greatsword, which gains power and chance to gain might on a critical strike. Double these bonuses while wielding a greatsword or spear. Greatsword and spear skills recharge faster. So I also read it on the wiki. The chance to gain might on a critical hit and power gained are doubled when wielding a greatsword. The number of might stacks and the duration of the applied might are not doubled. So whenever you hit with your greatsword, or whenever your fields from your longbow hit while you are in greatsword, you get a stack of might per hit. So let's see it. I cast my fields, I swap to greatsword, and you see the might pulsing. This is it. As a minor trait, we also have a flat critical chance increase by 5%, and also the might we get also gets us plus 10 power compared to the normal stacks of might, so we get 40 power per stack instead of 30, meaning that at 25 stacks we will have 250 more power compared to the normal might on other classes. Then as a final trait we get Berserker's Power, gain increased strike damage when you use a burst skill. This damage increase is based on your adrenaline, maximum stacks 4. If you use your burst skills while you are in Berserker mode, you will get 2 stacks of this trait, as you see right here. 2 stacks, and then you get Blood Reckoning, you go again, 4 stacks. So this is like 21% more damage in 1 second. Discipline trait line, we get Adrenaline when we swap weapon, which is really important because adrenaline generation is not always easy. Then we have Warrior Sprint, 3% more damage, and also our movement skill will remove Immobilize, which is the skill 3, and the skill 4 from the greatsword. They have movement skill, so they remove your Immobilize. And also we run faster when we have melee weapons, which is 25% more movement speed. Here we have Fast Hands, weapon swapping recharges faster, which is a huge trait because it allows us to to use our burst skills and our weapon skills much faster, like more a barbarian game style. So it fits the warrior very well. This straight line is very strong. Here we get destruction of the empowered. We deal 3% more damage to enemies per every wound they have, so it's really strong, especially if the corruption is bad in your squad. Then we have gain might on weapon swapped, burst skill gain reduced recharge, very nice trait because we have an additional recharge reduce and also some might. Then we have burst mastery, burst skills deal more damage, grant swiftness and restore a portion of adrenaline spent. So this is very strong because it restores 33% of the adrenaline we use in our burst skills. So it allows us to use more burst skills because we don't have to generate so much adrenaline. In the Berserker trait line we have Smash Brawler, which gives us 5 additional critical chance increase while we are in Berserker mode, and also 5% more duration of the Berserker mode. Here we have some additional ferocity and some additional condition damage, which we don't need. Here some additional power, and here we have Bloody Roar, deal increased strike damage while in Berserker mode, and we also gain some resistance when entering Berserker mode. So I counted in the traits the 5% critical chance from here and the 5% critical chance from here. So we are at about 74.38, and with Fury we reach 20 more, and in Berserker mode 5 more, so we are like at 99.38, and we will also have hopefully the minor bloodlust from the ruins captures in the Borderlands, so we are at 100% critical chance right here. For utility skills we run Signet of Fury. Whenever you use it you gain full adrenaline. Then Signet of Might, attacks are unblockable and you gain might, so you gain 10 stacks of unblockable. I will show you later how to use it. And then we have Balanced Stance, which is a pulsing stability and swiftness, and also break stance, and also you become immune to critical hits for these 4 seconds. And then we have the Battle Standard as elite skills, and the Battle Standard will revive the enemy, the allies in the bigger radius, and also it can stomp the enemies in the smaller radius. So keep in mind that this is a very strong skill and should be used wisely to revive your allies or to finish the enemies. Pick your choice. The healing skill is Blood Reckoning, which will recharge our adrenaline and also our F1 while we are in Berserker mode. So you see F1, Blood Reckoning, F1 again. This is especially strong if you are in ranged situation. You can cast a double Scorched Earth, so the fire field will grant you a lot of adrenaline over time. If you are in a melee situation, you should use a double Arc Divider, which is a huge damage dealer, and so you can use a huge burst against the enemy, like in 1 second you use 2 of them and you can one-shot your enemies. So as a berserker, like what differentiates a good berserker to a bad berserker is when you use your berserker mode. Most of the berserkers just enter combat and they immediately enter berserker mode when they are full adrenaline, but this is not always accurate and shouldn't be done. Use your berserker mode when you're sure you are about to engage and when your squad use wells from necromancer and also calls for range spike and whatever. So if you are ranged and you are sure you are staying ranged, you should enter the berserker mode, use your F1 after you enter, of course, and if you don't have full adrenaline you can help yourself with the Signet of Fury, but this is needed for the critical chance, which is 180 precision, so it's very nice. Otherwise you enter berserker mode, F1, and then you use Blood Reckoning and you can use your F1 again. Make sure to cast it properly. As you see, the F1 casts 5 fire fields and every fire field will hit the enemies once every 0.5 seconds, and also each fire field can hit 5 enemies per burning session for a total of 25 targets. So imagine this with the Forceful Greatsword, like you use your fire fields on the enemies and then you swap to Greatsword. You see how much might you get just by this. Imagine in a full fight in War vs World against 50 enemies, you will get 25 stacks of might permanently as long as the fire fields from the F1 are on the ground. Then on the longbow there is another important skill, which is this. It's kinda slow, but it deals a lot of damage. It is a projectile and of course can be blocked or reflected. But if you are sure you are not going melee anytime soon, you can use your Signet of Might, so your skill will become unblockable for a few seconds and for 10 attacks. So you use it and you will hit your enemies, and this will be unblockable, and you can deal a decent amount of damage even if you are ranged and even if you are not in Berserker mode, which is not permanent, of course. It's like for 20 seconds, and once it finishes you have to wait for 11 seconds, so be wary. When the fight is about to clash, like your Zerg is coming into the enemy Zerg, you should swap to the Greatsword. You trigger the Hydromancy Sigil. Let's say you are in Berserker mode, you use your F1, and if you have Blood Reckoning ready again, or if you didn't use it earlier, you use it again, and so you use your F1 once again. This applies also for the Signet of Might. Make sure you don't use your Signet of Might when there is a fire field from on the ground from you, or you will waste your stacks on the of unblockable on your F1. So make sure you use your Signet of Might when there is no fire fields on the ground by you, and so you can benefit fully for the Arsing Arrow, which is the skill 3, and also for the Arc Divider, which is so strong. The skill used to hit in 3 hits the enemies, so there was some room to dodge it or to Aegis it or to out heal it, but now it's just so strong because they changed it, and it's just a single hit which deals the same damage as the 3 previous hits combined. So I sometimes hit for 20k with this on the DPS classes enemies, so make sure if you are melee to use the Signet of Might, then Arc Divider, and then Blood Reckoning, so you can use it again. You can one-shot like 5 enemies this way, because you have 10 stacks of unblockable. The balanced stance should not only be used for the stability, but actually the strongest part of this skill is the immunity to critical hits, so you are in melee on the enemies and they cannot critical hit you, and you will survive so much more compared to when you don't have this skill ready. So keep in mind that this immunity to critical hits can really change your life. Then on the Greatsword we have 100 Blades as a skill which locks you in place, very bad, shouldn't never be used basically. The skill 4 is a projectile, which is nice damage, but still is a projectile and could be blocked. You can use maybe Signet of Might with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then we have the skill 3, which is very strong. It's an evade and also mobile skill, deals a decent amount of damage and also will remove immobilize because of the trait. And then we have Rush, which is strong damage dealer, but only on one target. This is used to deal damage, not a lot, but still you will have to use it to reposition yourself, like you are stuck behind, you are struggling to get to your commander, you use your skill 3 and then your skill 5, which are long mobility skills. And also if you have to run, you see you're losing the fights with your commander, you are about to retreat and you can use this skill to retreat and run away. So this class has a huge potential for burst damage and also sustained damage, and is probably the best class in the game right now to do damage. You will see yourself on the top DPS, on arc DPS most of the time if you play it correctly. The only downside of this build is, of this class, not this build, is that whenever you don't have the Berserker mode up, you are almost useless because you do 0 damage. All your damage comes from your F1, both from the longbow and both from the Greatsword. So please make sure to use your Berserker mode when it's needed, because if your party is about to clash and you don't have the Berserker mode ready, you are about to be useless and your party will lose because of it. They will lack your damage, and so please play this properly. Even if it's so strong and is easy to play, you just have to hit your F1s. Please make sure to use your F2 properly. The other downside of this build is that sometimes you don't have enough adrenaline to cast your F1s, so make sure to hit your enemies to build the adrenaline and help yourself with the Blood Reckoning, which fulls your adrenaline, and also the Signet of Fury will fill your adrenaline again. And also we have the adrenaline on weapon swap, and also we have the adrenaline from the burst mastery, so whenever we use a burst skill we will get 33% adrenaline back. Okay guys, this was everything for this video. I hope I covered every aspect of this build, and if I didn't, please tell me in the comments, and if you have any question you can also PM me in game or in the comments down here. Please note that this build is so strong right now, so it's probably gonna be nerfed very soon, but for now it's been like this for some months, so enjoy it. Please consider leaving a like and a subscribe if you like my content, and so you can show me your appreciation of my content. Thank you for watching, and see you on to the next video. Bye!